Siberius, and we about to get serious. It's the real Siberius, making fanboys furious.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to The Real Siberius. On this episode, I want to talk about the reality of firefighters and plumbers. We've all heard the comments about players of past eras being firefighters and plumbers. I believe it was J.J. Redick that made these asinine claims. However, he may have been echoing somebody else's sentiments, or maybe he was echoing theirs. It's irrelevant. Let's talk about why this is so incredibly disrespectful, but also is an indictment against the modern era and not past eras. First, let's address the idiocy of this statement because it was made against players of Jordan's era, which just goes to show how ignorant Redick is, because Jordan's era was the golden age of basketball with the highest level of competition. And at this time, players were paid a sufficient wage to play in the NBA full time. This just demonstrates how ignorant Redick is. From what I can ascertain, some players up into the 70s and 80s had to work second jobs because the NBA was not providing a sufficient salary to be able to support yourself and your family simply by playing basketball. To me, this makes complete sense. Sports, while respected, was not revered or touted to the same level it is today. Athletes weren't held in the highest esteem. Playing professional sports wasn't a lucrative business back then. It was merely recreation, and the pay scale reflected that. It was a product of the time, and as times were harder, pay was limited. Even though their schedule was more difficult, the conditions in which they played under and traveled under were harder. The competition was harder. To belittle someone for their hardship despite their greater effort is hugely disrespectful. First and foremost, because you are down-talking an experience you've never had and likely couldn't handle. However, this is where your criticism not only falls flat, but humiliates the current era. Players today piss and moan about having to play the minimum 65 games to receive their meaningless accolades. Players back then were working a second job, in many cases a blue-collar job, often in trades, to make ends meet. And many of them were playing all 82 games on top of that. The players of the modern era wouldn't be able to handle a blue-collar job, period. They lacked the constitution, grit, and they absolutely couldn't handle the harsh realities of the working conditions, or expectations, or pay. And to do that job and then play basketball on top of it in a vastly more physical era, these men should be saluted, applauded, and revered, not mocked and sneered at. JJ, maybe you should have focused more on your playing, your commentary, and now your coaching, because the only legacy you're leaving behind is your ability to do anything at a mediocre level. I would also be willing to wager after only a few years in LA, he would jump at the opportunity to play with firefighters and plumbers, because he has gotten a very up-close look at playing with dilettantes and divas. He said recently that not everyone is built like Kobe. No fucking shit, jackass. Work ethic is like respect. It's earned, not given. Also, how the fuck would you know what greatness is? You haven't been within a mile of it in your playing or coaching career. Keep to your sycophants. It's what you're good at. Leave greatness to the firefighters and plumbers. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you made it to the end, I certainly appreciate it. As always, I want to give a shout out to the content creators that continue to inspire me to do this. Uncommon Sense, Angry Old Hoops, Self-Researched NBA Facts, 93Z, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncut Hoops, Speed Engine, In Your Face Hoops, Eddie TV, King Speech Row, Goatcast Hoops, DZ Shooting. I always appreciate your guys' takes, your perspectives, and your humor. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.